Hey guys, welcome to Etc. channel again and another episode of round function and formulas in Excel. So in this video we are going to cover INT function, which is called integer function. It's very straightforward function because it just rounds the number down to the nearest integer like we have done in the round function in the previous videos, but it adds more value when we use this function with the helper functions, like when we deal with dates or cash denominators or remove times map or something like that, which we are going to cover in detail in this video. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do it, because we are covering each and every formula and function which you usually use in your daily life to polish your Excel skills and to know more and dive deep into these formulas to get your real life experience or real life skill setup watching these videos. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we have a very basic sheet. If you want to practice it with us, then you can find a link in the description box, which will be the first link. There you go to our website, and just below the video player you will find the link which is called download XLX file, which is the Excel format, and there you can just start practicing it with us. Okay. So here, what does INT function does? INT function is actually an integer function which rounds a number down to the nearest integer. It's very similar to round and roundup function, but it adds more value, as I have said earlier, to when we deal with the scenarios like a date here, or if we calculate something like a cash denomination formula, which we are going to cover in upcoming minutes. So let's start with the basics of integer function or INT function. So here we have a set of numbers which we have covered in previous videos. So it's just, if you want to convert these numbers to the nearest integer, then you can use INT function, which you can also use like a trunc function, which we are going to cover in the next video also. So there are set of function which you have options to deal with. So here, when we open a integer function, INT function, it has only one argument which says a number, and it's very straightforward, as I say. So just select the number and there you go. It will delete all the decimals, or you can say chop off decimals, and it will just give you the answer you wanted. And if you apply this to all values, so here you go, you will get your values. As you can see here, we have a 59.48 revert back to 59, so it just act as a round function which we have covered. And here we have a 75.9, but it converted to 76, which round function does. It's very similar to the round function, but it has all its merits. Here, like you have said, it's 25.6397, so it round off, or you can say convert the nearest integer to 25. So it has some basic functionality that negative numbers become more negative. Like here we have covered the minus 46.03. in the round function it just convert or rounded back to 46 number, right? But here it converted to round up like functionality to minus 47. So this integer function rounds a number down to the nearest integer, but in the negative numbers it becomes more negative, and in the positive it's just converted to the nearest integer like we have done here. Hope you understand how this function works. In the next example, we are going to calculate years between the dates. So here we have two dates from N2. So if we want to calculate the years between the two dates, we can apply a simple formula called year frac. When we just type that number and hover to this function, it says that returns the year fraction between the number of whole days between start date and end date. So let's just open this function, and it has basically two arguments to fulfill: start date and end date. So in the first argument we will just select the start date, and in the end date, as it says, we will have to select the end part of the dates we have. So if we just apply it give us 1.002. So it was 1st of Jan, and it says the 2nd of Jan here. So when we apply to all, it says 1 year and 2 and 3. So if we want to convert these to whole years, we don't want that decimals here, then you can just wrap this formula with which function? INT function. So here our number argument is fulfilled by this particular formula, and close the parenthesis, so you will get your whole years, and there you go. So you will get the years between the two dates, or you have calculated years between the two dates using INT function and year frac function. So you can use the INT function with the helper function like year frac to calculate such type of calculations. So in the next part, we are going to remove time from the timestamp. Here we have a data here with the given dates and with the time, and if we right click on it and click on the format cell, as you can see the data is in DDMM, which is the month, YY which is the hour, year, and HH will be the hour, and MM will be the minutes. So we have a formatted cell with this respective dates and time. But if you want to remove time from the timestamp, it's very easy. You can use INT function to remove it. How? You just need to enter the INT here, check this, close the parenthesis, there you go. So if you apply to all, it will remove all the time from the timestamp we have here in this particular cells. But as you can see, there's also a 00 added to it, and if you want to remove that, you can go again to the format cell and delete this HHMM, which is the format for this particular cell, and click OK. So it will just erase all its content and you will get your date. So you must be wondering why we need to delete or apply this particular function when we can also do the same with the help of format cell in this. The thing is, if you calculate something time related, then it will reflect in your answer. Suppose you want to calculate a time between this to something in future, then you need to, then the data will be in the backend with this time and it won't be removed. So that's why you need to remove time from the timestamp to avoid those mistakes in your worksheet. So hope you understand how you can remove time from timestamp using this particular function. So now we are moving towards the most advanced part of this video. Now we are going to create a cash denomination calculator using INT function and a helper function like sum product. This part of the video gonna be very confusing, but if you know about sum product function, then you may grab this at your fingertips. But you may have issues with this part of the video because it's gonna be very difficult to grasp, but I will try my best to keep it simple and let you understand how you can actually calculate it. So here we have a set of amount and we have a denominations here, 100 rupee note, 15 rupee note, and we want to fulfill that into these particular cells. Okay, so we need to find how many and which denomination to be included to fulfill this particular amount. Okay, and for the first part, let's just find out the remainder of which of this and make the column absolute divided by this. Let's make it an absolute, yes, or let's just make this row absolute and click enter. So it says 0.66, right? And if we apply to all, it says 1.02 and 7.01. So if you see, when we divided this both numbers, we can see that number of 100 rupee note required in 102 is 1, right? So remainder will be 02. And the next is 701. Number of 100 rupee note we need is 7, so it says 7.01, so remainder is there. And in the next part it says 1331, so it's 1331. So how many 100 rupee note we need to cover this amount? So it's a 13 number. So it's right in a way, but we need to chop off these decimals to make it look good or clean. So we will apply INT function to it to convert this to a nearest integer. So let's just apply to all, so we get our right amount of 100 rupee denomination. So it's very easy. As you can see, you can either use INT or you can use round also, but INT function suits well when we apply more accurate formula in these particular cells. So calculating 100 rupee note or denomination into this amount is very easy, but the tricky part comes when we came to apply a formula into this. So I will try my best to put in a simpler words, but if I may skip it, you can practice by your own, such that you will get to know how we have calculated this. Okay, so in the next part, or in this cell, we first figure out what the value of existing domino counts with, and to calculate it we need a sum product function. So here sum product function will configure two arrays. Both should be configured carefully, and let's just open the sum product. And for the array 1 should be consist of denomination from row 11 here, which is the denomination. So let's just first denote our array as a b1, make it an absolute, to b11. So in the first part of the array we make it an absolute here, and the second part we need this to be subtracted by this, so we need to only make the next part, or you can say the next row, to be absolute. So this will be our first array. So it consists of a denomination from row 11. The range is carefully constructed to expand when copied across to the table to the right. Okay, so it will be carefully constructed to be expand when we apply to all our rest of the cells. So the first reference is absolute, why, and the second reference is the mixed, which is b11. So b will not be absolute, and it will be dragged down to all, like that. So the row is logged, but the column will change, causing the range to expand. Okay, so in the next array consists of existing denomination which we have counted from this particular cell of 100. Okay, so we need a number, so we will just select this and this with the same approach we have done with the array 1, but in this we will only make b column absolute, rest it will change over expand. Okay, so the result of this sum product operation is the total value of existing denomination costs denomination count so far in the table. So this is the subtracted from the original value in column A, then divided by the current denomination from row 11. So let's just close the parentheses. Let's see what we are getting. So we are getting the 0 here, so it's fine. Now we need to subtract this formula from this. Let me just add a subtraction sign here, and now we just need to make b5 absolute. Now we need to make a absolute because the row number will change over the time. So let's see what answer we get. So we get the 66, right? So 66 was subtracted by 0 will be 66, but now we need how many 50 denomination nodes required in that particular amount, which was the 66 we have calculated. So we will done the same way like we have done with the 100. We will divide by this, which is C11. Now we need to make absolute only the 11th row here, right, and click this. So we need only one denomination, so we just let's format that and change to general. So we need a 1.32 denomination of 50 rupee note, and if we apply this to all, so now we will convert this with the help of INT function to the nearest integer. So click enter. So only one denomination we need of 50 in this, so that's correct. And if we apply to all, so you see you will get a right answer. We need a 150 and 110, which comes 60, and then 65, 5 rupee, and then we need a 1 note here. And if we apply to the rest of here, so yes, we don't need a 50 when we have a 100 here, we just need a 2 ones. So if we apply to all, so yes, we have got the correct answer. We need a 102 that will come to the sum of 102, and let's see if the rest of cells giving us the same. So yes, we need only 1 rupee denomination to fulfill 701. So let's just find for the last cell. Yes, we don't need a 50 denomination to fulfill 31 denominator, which is, and if you apply to all, yes, we need a 120 denomination, 110 denomination, and 1 rupee denomination to fulfill it. So hope you understand how we can create a cash denomination calculator using INT and sum product. So if you have learned something from this, I know this part of the video is very tedious and hard to grasp, but it's going to be very overwhelming when you complete that at your own expense. So if you have learned something from this, if you don't, you can just click on the comment box and share your feedback. And if you have learned something from this, you can click the like button. And if you want to learn such videos from in the future, you can just click a subscribe button. And if you want to share this to your colleague, your friend, you can use the share button. So see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.